good evening, everybody. It is Brad from the Big Family Homestead. I hope that you are ready for another exciting and soon-to-be classic hangout time, Thrive Life, awesome time with the one, the only, the amazing Bill Keller. He's a platinum executive with Thrive Life. I'm a gold consultant, and we are here to talk about some awesome stuff that's happening in the business. But before we do, I need to give Bill props. If you are not aware, Bill is also a YouTube creator. He and his lovely bride, Elizabeth, they have an awesome channel called the Tiny House Prepper channel, and I encourage you to go and check it out. They do a lot of great stuff in terms of preparedness, emergency awareness, and the whole tiny house living thing. And he and Elizabeth rather, happen to be my upline, Christa and my upline in the Thrive Life business. And we are blessed and privileged to have Bill here with us tonight. So how are you, Bill?
I'm here. I'm great, Brad. So glad to be here.
Excellent, excellent. Now, you have the blessing that I wish that I had sometimes, and I'll tell you why sometimes. I don't like to travel, but I envy the fact that you get to go to all these conventions and things, but I'm torn, man, because we've got our animals, that's kind of like an anchor in a lot of ways, but also it's like, sometimes I want to travel. But then you come back from these events so fired up, and you've got so much great information that inevitably I feel regret for not going. Should I have gone, Bill? Tell me the truth.
Well, you know the answer to that. Sure. I mean, I was a consultant for several years before I ever went to any kind of a Thrive convention or event, before I ever met anyone that was a Thrive consultant, because my sponsor lives on the opposite side of the country. And it wasn't until I actually went to the first event and started rubbing shoulders with other consultants and started really feeling the culture of the company that I really started to get excited about the business.
Well, that's pretty awesome. But now you're coming off of, it's not even just a couple days ago that there was a big, this was like a game changer. And you and I talking off air on some major changes in the Thrive Life business. And what was the name of the convention? And then let's just jump right in. What were some of your big main points? And I'll just try my best to make sure that everybody here who is live, if I can include a question for Bill, I absolutely will. Or if I would like to press it out more, I'll try and just kind of edge in there. But what was the name of the convention, and what were the big highlights for you?
Sure. The convention itself was called Reveal 19 because they revealed some great new things and a great new product. It was actually in Edmonton, Alberta, which was a first. They always have conventions in Salt Lake, which is where the corporate headquarters is. But recently, the Canadian contingent of Thrive consultants has been outgrowing the United States, believe it or not. They're growing faster than we are. So they decided to hold this convention up there to support the Canadian consultants. So Elizabeth and I flew up there, and it was the first time we'd ever been in Canada. It was a fabulous trip. We were there last weekend. And there were really three main points that they talked about that I want to talk about here. The first one I'll just mention very briefly. I won't get into any detail, but they have made some pretty good improvements to the compensation plan for consultants. So a lot of people are excited about that. And
you're not. You're not getting off that easy. We'll come back to that because
okay.
that affects me. That affects me, man. I'm done. I'm excited. I want to hear a little bit more. I know we can't go into crazy detail, but I need to know. But continue on, please do.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay. Well, the next one is, I have loved Thrive Foods for many years now, but I had a real serious problem with the website because it was very difficult to use. It was very difficult to navigate. And me and several other lead consultants have been working very closely with the Thrive executive team in reworking that, and they've been working on it for well over a year. And they have finally released the new website just a couple weeks ago, and now it's considerably easier to navigate considerably easier to understand. And I'm very excited about that because, quite frankly, I won't have as many calls from confused customers saying, how do I do this? So now it's very easy to just go to the website and find what you need.
Okay. And I'll tell you what I am one of those noisy consultants that probably gave the poor Thrive team a little more shtick than the average bear, just because I have background in web development and running teams that do big data based style websites. But I got to say that what the changes that have been made are great. There's still a couple little thingies here and there that are popping up, but for the most part, I'm with you in saying that it is a vast, vast improvement.
Absolutely. And the last thing, the main thing that I want to talk about tonight is the new products that they've just released. You know, when Thrive first started, I think it was 9 years ago, they were basically a prepper company. And they were producing, you know, the food, 25-year shelf life, great for long-term storage. And they still are. You know, we still have the 25-year shelf life, and we're still great for storage. But another thing that they did not talk about when they first started was the superior nutrition of Thrive Life, or any freeze-dried food, that it's considerably more nutritious than canned goods, or even more than the grocery store fresh produce, because it's picked ripe and frozen immediately, and so it locks all the nutrients. When you buy stuff from the grocery store, it looks beautiful, but it's picked before it's ripe, and then it's shipped, and it can take several weeks just to get to the store, and all that time, all the nutrients are deteriorating. So it looks beautiful, but there's not much left in it. So they've been talking a lot more about the nutritional value. And now, when I went to this conference thinking it was going to be a business conference, and it turned out to be a health and nutrition conference. And I came away really fired up about, nutrition. And one of the things they talked about was the importance of vegetables, and that the current dietary recommendations are that we eat 10 half-cup servings of fruits and vegetables per day. 10. So, hey, Brad, how are you doing with that?
Oh, I tell you what, man, we were talking earlier. It's like I don't eat as much as I used to. I know my girlish figure speaks otherwise, but that would be really hard for me to do. I honestly would be stressed out trying to intentionally ingest that much food. I don't think I could do it.
You know, most people, most Americans and Canadians say, "Oh yeah, I get a lot of fruits and vegetables." When they sit down and really evaluate what they're eating, they realize they're not. And I get usually probably about 2 or 3 servings, and that's just not enough. So what they have done is they've been working on this for 18 months, and I'm really impressed with what they've done. But it is a new fruit and veggie drink that comes in a powder, freeze-dried powder, and then you just mix water and drink it. And the cool thing is that it has 4 servings of fruits and vegetables in each drink. So you can virtually double the amount of veggies that you're getting just by drinking one of these drinks. And there are other drinks out there that claim to be this way. They're fruit and vegetable juices and things, and but they're all Thrive Life is totally different from all of those others. For instance, one of the top popular ones is called Naked Drink, a naked fruit and vegetable drink. You can buy it at the cooler, in the grocery store or something. And the problem is that all of these others are juices. Thrive Life is not juice; it's real food. When you make any kind of a juice, first thing that happens is that it concentrates the sugars. And the Naked drink has 57 grams of sugar in it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Now it's fructose rather than sucrose, or, high fructose corn syrup, but it's still sugar. And in fact, it has more sugar in one of those than a Mountain Dew
Oh
can of Mountain
my
Dew has.
gosh.
It has the same amount of sugar as 15 Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookies.
What?
Yep, and it has the same amount of sugar as a box of Hostess donuts.
You see, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Yep.
Those Chips Ahoy cookies are in fact good for me
Yeah,
in
right.
terms of right? No,
Well, at
that's
least it's better
craziness.
than that naked fruit drink.
Well, that's what I'm
Um,
saying. I mean, when you
yeah.
compare the apples to apples, I guess.
Another thing about those drinks is that they are pasteurized to keep down, contaminants. And when you pasteurize them,
You
it
kill everything.
destroys the nutrients.
Yep, you kill everything. That's one of the reasons we know about that because that's why we actually have a milk cow.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just lost my train of thought. Oh, no fiber. They take all the fiber out of those juices.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there's no phytonutrients. There's no active enzymes left. There's no fiber. Thrive Life, on the other hand, their drink. Did I say the name of it? I don't think I
Not
did.
yet. I was waiting. I've got it written down, but I didn't want to steal your
Okay.
thunder. You were on a roll, brother.
Yeah. They call it Ruvi, RUVI. And at first I had trouble with that, but they said, okay, that means root of vitality. But they changed it to RU instead of RO, like, because then there'd be Rovi or whatever.
Rovi.
Root of vitality. So
Yeah,
RUVI, Ruvi.
Ruvi.
Yeah.
Ruvi. It's
Ruvi. Yeah,
kind
it's
of
really Ruvi.
it's kind of growing on me. I don't know. But you know what? The bottom line is if the product is awesome, the name doesn't really matter all that much. If it's
Right.
I mean, you're talking about 4 servings of vegetables, like with the fiber, with all those phytonutrients, per serving.
Per drink. It comes in a little pouch. You mix 8 ounces of water with it, and that's 4 servings of fruits and vegetables.
Wow.
Also, another thing is the naked drink and those other drinks that you can buy like that is mostly fruit and just a little bit of vegetable. Thrive, they have 4 different flavors, and they are anywhere from 40 to 60% vegetable, and then the rest is fruit.
Wow.
And what they do is they take the freeze-dried food, which we've already talked about is far superior to the other types of preserving food. And then they just take it and grind it into a powder, and they mix it together in certain, mixtures and varieties that they've researched to find the perfect combinations. And then you just mix water with it. So it's real food. It's just powdered food, and it's not juiced. Hasn't lost anything.
That's funny. We've got a couple folks already chiming in all at the same time. Groovy, groovy man. So now I have a question for you in terms of the packaging, the powder that you get. Now, I know from experience when I mix up powdered drinks with for my daughter Grace, sometimes they don't take well to the water. It kind of just gets clumpy and weird. Can you speak to that? Does it really incorporate, or are you going to be choking down big chunks of powdered powder?
Well, you have to have a shaker bottle. It has one of those little metal balls in it. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Okay. If you use that, it shakes up perfectly.
Okay.
Elizabeth tried to mix one up, and she had forgotten to bring that, and so she dumped it in and tried to stir it with a spoon, and she was eating clumps. It didn't work.
Yeah.
But when she had that little shaker bottle, it works perfectly every time.
Do not forget your shaker bottle.
Right.
So, okay, well, a couple questions for you here. This one's an interesting one because it deals directly with the website. This is coming from Alicia Drapeau. Brad, are both the Canadian and American websites in American dollars? They used to be.
Yes, they are. That's a very common question. The reason that the Canadian website is still in American dollars is because the exchange rate changes every single day, and it can change quite a bit. And if they had it in Canadian dollars, they would have to change all the prices every day on the website. And so that's not really possible because they have hundreds of products.
Okay.
So what you can do is just go online, just Google, and just put in USD, CDN, US dollar and Canadian, and it'll come up with a thing there where you can just put in either, the Canadian, it'll tell you the American, or you put in the American, it'll tell you Canadian. So you can know right away, what your Canadian price is going to be using the U.S. dollars.
Okay. Okay, excellent. This is kind of a random question, but I'm assuming that Wanda Hutchins must be kind of new to Thrive Life Food and is asking which beef would be the most like roast beef.
Shredded. It's called shredded beef, and
Okay.
we use that all the time.
Okay.
They have some other things that are chunked, different kinds of beef chunks and stuff. They're good, but once we discovered shredded, that's the only one we get anymore. It's just like roast beef, and it's wonderful. Roast beef you got to cook in the oven or in a crock pot for hours and hours. Shredded beef, you put it in hot water for about 10 minutes, and you got perfect shredded roast beef.
Okay. Question from Miss T. Sorry about that. Does the vegetable powder, I think you've addressed this pretty good, but I'm going to go ahead and ask anyhow, though. It says, does the vegetable powder have greens in it like kale, spinach, collard, or mustard?
Yes, some of them do. I don't have the list of what's in each one, but it's on the website. When you go there, it tells you. There are 4 different ones, and they're just colored: red, purple, orange, and green. The red is for your heart health. Purple is brain food. Orange is for the immune system and your skin. And green is for detox and cleansing. And in the write-up on the website, it tells you all of the ingredients that are in each one of them. In fact, if you add all 4 of them together, so if you drink one each day for 4 days, there are 26 fruits and vegetables in those 4 drinks.
Wow.
So it's a real good array of different nutrients that you're getting from those 26 different fruits and veggies.
Well, and one of the things that we have said here on our channel for a very long time, and sometimes we are good at this advice, heeding our own advice, and sometimes we're not. But let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. I'm a firm believer that most of the chronic illnesses that we have are coming from either too much garbage like processed sugars or not enough of the right kind of input, the vitamins and the minerals through vegetables and through the foods we eat. And I'm the thing I'm wondering about is, with this influx of so much good nutrition and how it's going to affect our lives, do you think as consultants that we're going to have to all of a sudden kind of become like micro experts and have to know everything about everything? Because I think that what will happen is that everybody's going to come to us and say, well, I have rosacea. What should I do about that? And I'm a little bit concerned because I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, but this stuff is going to be so awesome. I really do have a feeling that it's going to be so good that we're going to open the floodgates, and then people are going to ask us so many questions. Number one, do you think that's going to happen? Number two, what would our resources be if it does happen?
Well, for me, obviously I'm not a doctor either, and all I can say is check with your doctor or check with your nutritionist.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to answer specifics about, certain vitamins or certain vegetables for certain diseases and that sort of thing. I'm not even going to pretend, because I just can't do that because I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
I personally will be talking more in generalities.
Okay.
But I think that as a consultant, you can make out of it what you want. I think that there are some people who are so excited about this whole new nutritional direction that, though all of the great freeze-dried groceries are still there, they're planning on launching a business into this nutritional aspect. And I think there are going to be some people who are going to come on just for the Ruvi and build their entire business around Ruvi. And those people who are more really into that are going to just naturally know more of those answers because they deal with it all the time. And then there are others who, will just continue with the groceries and sell Ruvi as we also have this kind of thing. So
as a supplement.
As a consultant, you can make out of it what you want because it's your business,
Kind of like a supplement then.
Yeah, supplement to, you mean like a
To
food
your
supplement
diet,
or a business?
supplement to your diet to make sure that,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
because I could easily see people using this almost as a diet kind of a thing where, you know,
Hmm.
obviously we're not doctors, and let me just well reiterate that again. This is just supposition. We're just talking. This is not any kind of medical advice in any way.
Right.
But I could see people jumping on and going, you know what, this would be a great way to lose weight. Um, has there been any murmur of that kind of a thing, or is it mainly like, hey, let's just get our bodies back in order, or is there just you know, are there just so many ways you could use it? We haven't even figured them all out yet.
Well, there, some of us that are on the board at Thrive have actually been involved in this process for quite a while, and we weren't allowed to say anything until the Reveal 19 event, you know. But some of us, not me, but some of the others have actually been using Ruby for several months, 3 or 4 months, and we've had some testimonials at the Reveal 19 event last week of some of the benefits that they have had, and many of them have lost weight. And many of them have already seen improvements in some chronic medical issues that they've got. So,
Wow.
yeah. And they actually field tested it on 20 people who were not affiliated with Thrive Life at all. And out of those 20 people, all 20 of them reported it as a positive experience. All 20 of them said that they loved the convenience. All 20 of them mentioned an increase in energy levels. And then all 20 of them had various other kinds of benefits, most of them at least 2 or 3. And they're talking about things like happier digestive system, better immunity. They didn't get sick with colds and that sort of thing. Sleeping better. They stopped craving sugar,
Hmm.
and they started eating better. I think, you know, if you're drinking this and you're thinking about your health, just drinking this is kind of a catalyst to help you think about what you're eating, and then it makes you eat better in other areas as well.
Wow. So they've got now, just to recap, there's 4 of the drinks, the Ruby drinks, and they target different aspects of health and wellness. And you got to have the shaker bottle with the the little metal ball, or else you'll be choking down powder. And now, are they live? Can you get them on the website right now?
Yes, they've been live since last Saturday. Yep.
Okay.
They've completely changed the website, like I said. But now, if you go up to the top of the website and you just click on Shop, it looks totally different. But in the left-hand column, down at the bottom, it says Ruby. Just click on there, and it'll take you to that part of the website. And then there's a little button there. Once you get there, it says Learn More, and it's got all kinds of videos and things about it.
Okay. Now here's the $64,000 question, because I was kind of waiting to see. And Jean Marie Jellybean says, but how does this drink taste?
Oh, it's amazing. It's fabulous. One of them, the red one, is just a little bit tart, but it's really good. The other 3 are sweeter, but like I said earlier, there's no sugar added at all. It's all just natural from the combination of foods that they put in there, and they all taste great. I could easily drink several of them a day without any problem.
Do you personally find yourself like gravitating to one over the others?
Well, that's an interesting question. Elizabeth is on a very strict diet for a autoimmune deficiency, the autoimmune protocol that she's using, and there are many things that she's not allowed to drink or eat, including nightshades, which includes tomatoes. She was thrilled to find that she was able to drink 3 of these, and only the red, which has tomato in it, she can't drink.
That's the only one.
Yeah, so she can drink the other 3. So guess what I drink a lot of?
I get you. I'll bet you like your tomatoes.
Yeah.
That's too
So, I mean,
funny.
it doesn't taste like tomato per se, but it has tomato in it.
Okay.
But these have only been available for a week, and I haven't had them all enough yet to know whether I have a favorite.
Well, I've got to basically get a hold of some of them, and maybe I can do some giveaways on the Big Family Homestead channel, and
Right.
maybe just seed some of this stuff out into the community. and see what people think and get their take on it because
Sure.
I
Um,
personally love the Thrive Life food, and I there's there's very little that we came back with out of like I don't even know how many, just tons and tons of products that we came back and we're like, yeah, that was really not for me. But largely, like heavily, 98% of the stuff or more, we're huge fans.
right. Something else that was really cool that they talked about. I already mentioned that it has a patent pending, and there is no other company doing it with freeze dried food. Every other company is doing it with juice. And
Mm.
there is a man, and they wouldn't tell us his name, but he's a consultant, and he is the guru of vitamins and powders. And practically every company that is in that kind of industry at all comes to him for advice and evaluation of their products and all that kind of stuff. He evaluated Thrive Life, and he was amazed by what he found, and he said, "This is the real deal. Every other company is just hocus pocus."
Really?
Yep. And he would have jumped on board as a consultant in a second, but then he would have lost his job as you can't be a consultant to all of the companies if you're endorsing one. So
Yeah, that would kind of be a conflict of interest. Like, yeah, you guys are really great and all, but I make money from these guys.
right.
Yeah, I can see that might be a problem. So,
And
oh,
they spent 18 months conferring with people like him and dietitians and nutritional doctors who deal with that, and nutritional researchers and all kinds of stuff. So it's not just, well, this tastes good, that tastes good, let's put it together. It's really, a lot of science involved in it with a lot of learned people who helped with that process over 18 months.
excellent, excellent. So, just really quick, if you guys are interested in grabbing some or any of the Thrive Life food, there is a link down in the video description below that will take you through our portal because we are consultants, and that actually does help out Bill as well. So he's above us in terms of the food chain, if you will. He's our upline, and so if you want to grab something, there's a link down below, or if you have more questions you can email me. That's info.bigfamilyhomestead@gmail.com. And before we continue on too much, I want to double back. And you kind of hinted at some changes in the business structure, the commission structure for those of us who are consultants. And I think it might be very helpful for people to see who might be considering, maybe making a change, adding this to their business, making Thrive Life part of how they make an income. Is there a way that we can kind of chat a little bit about it without getting bogged down in, the minutia of every tiny little aspect of the compensation plan, or is it just we got to jump in?
Sure. They haven't changed the actual compensation plan. It's pretty much the way it was. But what they have done is added a bonus pool. And what they're doing is taking, gosh, I forgot the percentage now, 5% or 10%, I forget. I'm sorry, of the total revenue of the company every month, and putting it into this bonus pool. And then as consultants, we can earn shares of the bonus pool every month, and which will really increase our income. And most multi-level companies do this, but most of them, it's only for the higher echelon people who are like platinum and double diamond, black, whatever, that
Uh,
earn these. But with Thrive, they have started. They've also added a new rank in the bottom, Brad, between consultant and mentor. It's called ambassador,
mm-hmm.
and you can earn your first 2 shares the first time you qualify as ambassador, which is only $500 in personal sales and $1,000 in total team sales.
Wow. Wow.
So they are giving out the bonus pool shares to much lower ranks, and they took about a dozen different consultants from a couple months ago and evaluated what they were paid, and then they evaluated what they would be paid with the new bonus pool, and most of them had considerable increases in their paychecks. So
Wow. So
I
it's
mean,
kind of like
it's already
really
good
help.
enough that, it's my full-time income, but now it's going to be even better for lower ranks and newer people. You don't have to build a huge organization to be able to take part of the bonus pool.
You were just reading my mind. I was trying to jump in there and say, hey, I bet this is really going to help out the folks just getting started. And
Yep.
well, you jumped in there and saved the day. Going back, we have a question for you concerning the amount of those shakes. Like it's I'm going to sum up. Seems like what would be the max number of those drinks that you should drink in a day? I'm guessing with I wouldn't know how to answer that. I'm going to rely on your either expertise or you say talk to your doctor.
Well, nobody has asked that question, and I haven't even really thought about it. But here's my thought: it's just vegetables. I don't know that you're going to hurt anything or damage anything by eating too many vegetables. And if you need, they recommend 10 servings a day, and that would be 2.5 of these drinks per day would take care of that. Certainly, if you eat more than the recommended amount, there's no chemicals, there's no drugs. It's just beets and kale and apple and pear, and that's all it is. So I really don't think that would be an issue if you drank so-called too many.
Well, I mean, you don't probably want to overload on, just a bucket full of broccoli before you get onto an airplane. That might be a bad idea. But
Right.
you're going to have to talk to your doctor on that one. But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Like, I know that like when you for vitamin C, when you take vitamin C, for example, they say that, when your body's had enough vitamin C, the rest of it just goes out and passes through.
Right.
I don't know if that's the case, but I would say talk to your doctor on that. But the fact that there's no chemicals in there, no mumbo jumbo, no all the stuff that is making us sick, it's not there.
No preservatives, no fillers, nothing except just fruit and vegetables. So it'd be like going to your doctor and saying, "Doctor, what happens if I eat too many vegetables at my meal?" He would probably say, "Well, good for you."
He'd say, "What's your diet? I need some."
Or do I have to be careful not to eat too many vegetables?
Oh my gosh.
So.
You know what though, in an all seriousness kind of thing, if you actually had to sit down and eat, a massive pile of all of these things, because you were saying that there's 28 different, what did you say, 28 different fruits and
26.
vegetables?
Yeah, 26.
26. Can you imagine having to sit down and eat all of that in like a day? Here's your 26 vegetables and fruits. I'd be like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. But in this situation, you might actually have to really honestly look into, okay, I might want to back off on some of this. You'll have to check into that with your own dietitian or doctor, because if it was regular, you just wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't be able to physically be like, I'm sitting down and eating all this. You'd hate it. It'd be horrible. It'd be like that poor Looney Tunes cartoon from way back when Porky Pig was dreaming and he was so hungry, and then he had this dream, and then they kept feeding him and feeding him and feeding him, and he just ended up waking up and hating eating, and he didn't want to eat anymore. I think that would be me.
Yeah.
So, all right.
One other thing I wanted to address that I didn't understand. I'm looking at this little packet of powder, and I pour it into 8 ounces of water. 8 ounces of water is a small drink, and I'm thinking, how could there possibly be 4 servings in there? It just doesn't seem like enough volume to me. And then I realized, we make smoothies every morning anyway out of Thrive Food. And I know, Brad, you mix it up for your daughter.
Yep.
If you put a cup of say, broccoli into a blender and blend it up, what happens to it?
That's true. It's
It turns into
way
powder,
small.
and it's like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons.
Yep. Yep. You're right on the money with that.
It reduces down and it gets rid of all the space in between the molecules or the cells of the broccoli. And so when I realized that 4 half-cup servings, so that's 2 full cups. If you put 2 cups of freeze-dried fruits and vegetables in a blender and blend it down, it's going to be considerably smaller. And all of a sudden, it made sense to me.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're coming to the end of our time together tonight. I am very grateful that you've come on and chatted with us about the Ruby products. Um, I think we need to come up with some kind of funky challenge. You know how they do that every once in a while, Bill, where you'll see like, oh, you're gonna do the push-ups challenge so that you can benefit the vets, or you're gonna do some silly I'm gonna jump around the room challenge to benefit the firefighters or whatever. I think we need to have like a Ruby eat off contest, drink off contest to benefit, I don't know, me. No,
Well, actually, Thrive Life is actually doing the what they call the 90-day challenge. And I mean, there aren't any prizes or anything, but it's just, they're challenging all of us consultants to drink one Ruby a day for the next 90 days and then report back on the results. And like I said, a number of people have already been doing it and already uh, reporting increased energy levels and things like that.
well, obviously, I'm teasing about the contest. However, it seems to me like everybody's looking for an easier way to be more healthy, and I can't imagine honestly an easier way. I mean, everybody's like, oh, well, I'll do more push-ups, or I'll do more sit-ups, or I'll try to do this, or I'll cut this out of my diet. Why not just add something like this in to jumpstart everything else? That makes perfect sense to me. I don't think that there could be something more easy. You could throw it in your bag, throw it in the truck, and you just, throw some water in there whenever you need to go. I can't see something that would be more easy to be able to take 26 fruits and vegetables with you without fear. This is another thing I mean, we talk about the freeze dried aspect, but it's not going to go bad. You could throw this stuff in your cupboard and it's not going to go bad. And to have that kind of variety of nutrition in one spot, um, I don't think it could be any easier, to be honest.
That's exactly right. In fact, it was funny. They had a challenge there. They had four people up front on the platform, and they challenged to see who could mix it the fastest and get it ready to drink. And pouring it in the bottle and shaking it up, and it was just a. Anyway, they timed it, and it took an average about 25 seconds from pouring the water in to having it ready to drink. And so they were talking about 25 seconds, and somebody said, no, 26 seconds. So now you get 26 vegetables in 26 seconds.
Hey, there you go.
And then they were talking about, and you should do 30 minutes of exercise a day. And then somebody said, no, 26.
26
So
minutes. Yeah. That's too funny. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, you know what? Although, come on now, marketing department, they should have rounded that up to 30. It would have been so much easier. 30 everything, 30 vegetables, 30. Yeah, I think they missed a boat on that one. I really do.
I guess. Well, it was funny to watch them discover that at the conference. 26 vegetables in 26 seconds.
Funny, funny. So, okay, Bill Keller, he is a Rockstar Thrive Life Platinum executive. If you don't mind, go on over to the Tiny House Prepper channel, show him some sweet subscriber love, and hit that subscribe button and watch some of their videos. You're really not going to regret it. They're 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 just great people, and they put out good content. And not only that, I would say honestly, if you haven't tried the Thrive Life food, you're missing out, number one. And number two, consider it for, something to help out the family for a little bit of extra cash. We have not regretted it for a second. And we are just so blessed that, and I'm gonna gush on Bill here for just a second before we go.
Oh, shucks.
I know. Yeah, he doesn't know this is coming, but he reaches out to us to make sure that he's an encouragement to us. And do you have all the tools you need? And he'll call, he'll see us, make a video and then say, hey, well, have you thought of this aspect? And so in terms of a mentor, we have the ability to have Bill as a mentor. And if you jumped on in a business format with us too, he's your upline as well, and I'm your upline as well. And I got to tell you what, when I make a phone call, Bill answers the phone. It's just that simple. You don't usually hear that with other kind of businesses. You never hear from your people. And so I wanted to say thank you to you, Bill.
Sure, anytime.
All right.
And it just, for anybody who signs up under you, Brad, like you said, they're in my downline, and I'm there to support them as well.
Amen. So with that, guys, I think we're gonna say goodnight. I've seen a bunch of questions that we hit. I think you hit pretty much most of them. Other than that, there's a lot of people that were asking about different medical issues, but you guys got to understand we can't answer those specific. Here I have this illness. Would this work with that? You really got to talk to your doctor about that. And if you're like, hey, I just want to find out about the statistics of how much sugar, how much protein, how much this, that stuff's on the website, is it not, Bill?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, with that said, I think we're going to call it a night. Thank you so much, Bill.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
All right, guys. You guys have an awesome and blessed night. Don't forget, there's links down below. There's an email address right there. And don't forget to reach out and say hi to Bill and Elizabeth on the Tiny House Prepper channel. So have a great night, everybody.
All right. Thanks. Be blessed.
Bye.